Okay, this is an overview for the diversity assignment due week 3 in our class. We are creating a new diversity team for our company. We have to decide who is on the team. We need to research some best practices, both by looking at specific companies we're familiar with and research online and in the library, and then coming up with our team makeup and some initiatives to form a yearly plan. So that's what this assignment overview video is going to show you. So in our initial research, a mentorship program increases retention and satisfaction with diverse workers. Ongoing communication. Training should not be a one-time thing. You should have a constant communication with your employees in some way that they are used to, so it does not seem like an added burden, but something that is woven into the employee's life. You need to have a support from executive leadership in diversity programs because there's financial components, and you really want to make sure that it is believed in at the highest levels so employees feel that it's something that's important and not just a fad. A cross-functional team really makes diversity work in these corporate settings for the same reason that we want diverse workers from demographic points of view. Having diverse departments also helps because the janitorial department is going to have a different point of view than the engineering department, as an example. And then the last one is employee resource groups, or groups that are designed for employees to congregate with like-minded individuals. Really helps with diversity understanding and feeling included. So those are the best practices that I chose to focus on for my new team. We set the goals for the team of increasing diversity knowledge and understanding in the company. We want to increase retention and satisfaction rates of employees for diversity section. So every year the employees get an employee satisfaction survey that they are asked to complete, and we have correlated certain questions that are used in diversity, which we're going to use as one of our metrics. And then we're going to show how diversity and inclusion are used every day in our company through a series of activities. Here is how we are going to meet those goals. We're going to have a daily did you know style diversity fact on our team huddle email to all employees. Every morning, all employees get a brief email that has 4 or 5 bullets on what they need to know for the day, what's happening. It's standard communication procedure for all of our employees. So we're just going to add one more bullet that is diversity focused and just an information style bullet. We're going to start a formal mentorship program, and we're going to have an end-of-year banquet for all mentors and mentees where they can talk about their accomplishments and growth for the year. We really feel that this will help with satisfaction and retention with some of our key employees. In our mentorship program, we will ask a lot of different demographic questions and make sure that we are pairing these participants on internal and external diversity factors to make sure that they're not paired up with someone that seemingly exactly like them on paper, so they can have a little bit of growth and stretch, but there is some commonality in the areas that matter most to them as identified by them on their questionnaire. The third one is basically driving to our team formation. We've decided that in researching our best practices, having a cross-functional team is best. So we want to have a team member from all employee levels and departments. And instead of saying we want a particular role from a particular department, we were going to leave it up to the department to nominate and vote on a delegate, if you will, from that department. So if all departments do this, we should have all levels of leadership from our company and all the departments recognized. And if we need to add another seat or two to make sure that we have both independent contributors and managers, we can work that out. But we really feel that by having it nominated and voted on, it'll be employees that are interested in diversity on the team, and we'll make sure that we're having that really strong cross-functional team dynamic. We will also ask that in the obvious departments, we're going to stratify those departments as well. So we really want to make sure that the executive team is present in our diversity group. So we've decided that the Chief Human Resource Officer will always be our executive sponsor, unless another officer has a strong passion and drive for diversity and also wants to sit on the panel, or the chief human resource officer lets them take their seats on it. So we have designated the chief human resource officer as our executive sponsor, but are willing to change that out. If, for example, we got a CFO who is really committed to diversity because of the fiscal rewards, we would be willing to move that out as well. Okay, our fourth initiative in our yearly plan is to start some employee resource groups. We know that we have a lot of issues with our veterans, women, and intercultural groups in terms of their retention and how they feel about being included in the workforce. So those would be our first 3 employee resource groups, and we'll make sure that our team sets budgets and protocols to be a formal sponsored ERG in our employee resource group. And we are open to expanding that if another group of employees asks for an ERG, and we'll set up a process in place through our team. And the last one is we'd like to have a fun team building activity once a month. I am picturing this being a one location company, maybe a couple hundred employees. When I was using my generic company, I was picturing a couple hundred employees in one location. So Human Resources has our demographics on file, so we know which groups we have in our company. And we'll try to have a fun team activity once a month that's focusing on a particular group's heritage, or sort of like having a Cinco de Mayo party to celebrate Hispanic in May and Irish heritage in March, and that sort of thing, which is the holiday centered when possible. And on months where there isn't one, we'll fill in with a diverse group that we have in our company to make sure that everyone is getting representation in a fun way, that it doesn't feel like a lot of work. So those are our team initiatives. We covered our goals, we covered makeup, and that is sort of what I'm looking for. Obviously, I do not want you to do exactly what I just did, because you have to write a paper, for one. And for 2, I want you to think about this on your own. You may not agree with all the best practices that you see for the kind of company that you work in. If you work in a hospital, I would like you to do a generic hospital. I don't want you to do the exact company that you work for, because some of you work for companies that have fantastic diversity programs. And I want you to create something new and not necessarily just do what you see. But feel free to use them in our best practices research section. If your company does have a really strong program, that can be part of your research best practices. I hope that makes sense on what I'm looking for in this assignment and what each of those bullet points meant. If you still have questions, please feel free to email me.